Grandpa?
Yeah.
Have you ever seen a textbook?
A textbook? That takes me back. Well, a textbook was a book that you'd take home with you so you could study after school.
Grandpa?
You see... Yeah?
Can you tell me about this at the beach?
Yeah, sure. Anyway, back then, we didn't have all our own communication screens. We had televisions and telephones and a person who came to our house every day to bring us the mail. And the computers had things called keyboards that you had to work with your fingers. You couldn't just talk to them.
Wow. It's weird.
Yeah. Things sure have changed.
Imagine, if you will, the largest library with all the documents, all the books, all the sounds, all the music, all the pictures, all the videos that you can possibly imagine. Now, instead of going to visit that library, you could actually bring that library into your home, and that's what the digital communications revolution is going to mean to you. Almost everything that we touch today has little digital computer chips in them.
Digital code is the language of the computer, and when we say that we digitize things, we're breaking things down into ones and zeros.
The ones and zeros of a digital code are called bits. When you type an A on your keyboard, that letter A is turned into 8 bits. Zeros and ones. So, for example, if we were going to digitize the word cat, the C would have its own unique combinations of 8 zeros and ones. Same thing for the A, and again for the T. So combined, CAT, or cat, would actually have 24 unique bits of zeros and ones. An entire document can be digitized, but it takes many, many more zeros and ones. The reason why we digitize documents and books is so that we can store them all on something like this, a floppy disk. And the only thing that's on here are zeros and ones. What would you rather carry around in your knapsack, a 500-page textbook or a floppy disk? Not only can we convert words and documents into zeros and ones, but we can digitize sound.
Everybody's heard of CDs, CD players, digital audio. We take the sounds that we're used to hearing and they are transformed electronically into ones and zeros, computer data. That's what's stored on a CD, it's computer data.
There's nothing on this but zeros and ones. But get this, we're talking over 900 million zeros and ones on this CD. We can also digitize pictures.
If you think of having a series of photographs, in each of those photographs you have a lot of dots. With each of those dots you need to represent that information as a set of bits. You can imagine that there are a lot of those little bits that represent each of those dots that represent the entire photograph.
The next step is moving pictures. That's what video is. Nothing but moving pictures. 30 pictures in a second.
When you are working with video, you're working with something that's 30 photographs per second. And each of those photographs has all those dots, and each of those dots has all those bits. And so when you add that up, it's a lot of information.
When you start talking about video, because there's an awful lot of information that you need to carry, you're really into
Millions or billions of bits, ones and zeros, every second.
Grandpa, would you tell me about television again?
Again?
Yeah, but let's do it on a roller coaster. All right!
How about the mountains, huh?
All right. Sorry, Grandpa.
Well, television. Now, that was kind of a funny thing. First of all, they were pretty small. Then if you wanted to see something like a show about wild animals, you'd have to wait until a certain time of the week.
No way!
Yeah. And set your TV screen to the right channel. It was pretty involved.
Wow. What about movies?
Well, that was a big deal. In order to see it at home, you had to go to a place called a video store and rent the movie in a kind of a plastic box. Then you had to remember to take it back the next day.
Whoa. Unbelievable.
The problem is, how do you move that digital information from point A to point B?
You can get voice information and small amounts of data information over your telephone line.
We've got telephone wire like this for carrying voice and other information. We've got cable TV wire, such as this, carries more information, but we're talking about an enormous amount of information that we're trying to put on these wires.
Think about, a highway, and how at a certain point, during rush hour, for example, you get so many cars on the highway that all of a sudden traffic stops.
So we're looking for something else. We need something else to carry all that information.
We take and we digitize information. You know, big superhighway, you need an 11,000 million lane highway to get all this information down.
This is fiber optic cable, and unlike the television wire or the telephone wire, this is an infinitely wide highway. Fiber optic cable is just a piece of glass, a very pure piece of glass. And that's one of the reasons why we can carry an awful lot of information on that fiber optic glass strand. We can carry 25 telephone conversations on this size cable. In contrast, every telephone call in the United States could be carried over this fiber optic cable at the same time. We can do things like sending the entire Encyclopedia Britannica from New York City to Philadelphia in under a minute.
Fiber optics is a really good, high-quality, efficient way of delivering the information. However, there are other ways to do it. We can do it through the air without using wires, via satellite. When it's transmitted via satellite, you can receive digital information no matter where you are. Whether you're on your boat, whether you're in the mountains, whether you're traveling on your car, whether you're in the middle of a lake, there's no boundaries for receiving digital information through the air. The information superhighway isn't this thing which you could point to and say, there it is. It's a whole system. It's fiber optics working together with telephone lines, which is working together with microwave lines, and they hook up to satellites when they need to. So the information, when it's sent out, hops on whatever it needs to hop on in order to get to the person that needs to use it.
In the future, we'll be able to do things like beaming in a full 4-hour movie in a matter of seconds. Music videos on demand. Home shopping. Games on demand. You could imagine playing video games with 6 of your friends all the way across the country. And really, you're going to be the ones that are going to decide how you pull all those things together and utilize them in new, creative ways.
Oh boy, it's getting late. Time, please.
The time is 9:16 p.m.
9:16, getting late. Don't you have some homework to do?
It's almost done. Can I ask you one more thing?
Oh, I told your mom I'd get you to bed on time tonight.
Come on, just one more thing, Grandpa. Please.
Okay, if it won't take too long.
Who is Bart Simpson?
There's a highway people are discovering that's like no other. It can take you to the outer limits of your imagination, no matter how far you wish to travel. But for many, the way is blocked by doubts and fears. With images of a future too fantastic to believe, or so disquieting that it prevents people from moving forward. Somewhere beyond these obstacles lies the truth to what we'll find on the information superhighway. Now and in the near future, here is where the adventure really begins. The information superhighway is a highly interactive communications environment that has the potential to enhance our minds, our health, our spirits, and our principles. We start with education and the internet. Arguably the most popular feature of the highway, the net is a worldwide educational resource for anyone with a thirst for knowledge. But the highway is composed of much more than text and pictures. It's the means of creating whole new approaches to education, like distance learning systems that allow teachers and students to interact with each other from remote locations. These systems help equalize the educational playing field by giving students from different schools equal access to the best teachers. Another benefit of interactive distance learning is that it frees the classroom teacher to devote more time to giving personal attention to individuals who need it. As the highway expands, the world will become a little smaller. Instead of isolating our children from one another, it will bring them closer together in ways that can have a lasting impact.
近所の人たちの様子を How can I describe the faces of my neighbors? I come from a village of 300 people. Only 4 houses remain on my street. Mine is not among them. My aunt is fortunate. Her house is okay, but I'm afraid to sleep there between the walls, so I sleep in the streets near the warmth of the campfires.
One of the more exciting applications being developed on the highway, and one GTE is greatly interested in, has to do with a program called VistaNet. VistaNet is a high-speed telecommunications network used by doctors to plan radiation therapy in cancer treatment. Computers allow radiologists and clinical researchers to access results of MRIs from remote locations and to interact with these images to design the most effective treatment possible. In the near future, a variation of this technology will allow patients in remote regions of the country to be diagnosed by specialists in major urban hospitals. When the highway is completed, no longer will entertainment be merely a passive viewing experience. Instead, consumers will hit the jackpot with a host of interactive thrills. But the highway's benefit to the entertainment industry is being recognized in other ways as well. Take Hollywood, for example, where Steven Spielberg, with the help of GTE, made great use of the highway while editing his blockbuster movie, Jurassic Park.
It was absolutely extraordinary. There was a setup at ILM in Northern California, a monitor at Amblin Entertainment in Los Angeles, and a setup at Steven's house that he was also using as his editing facility in Poland. So what they would do at least twice a week was the folks at ILM would take their dailies, transmit them right from there directly over to Steven.
Steven's got to be able to say, yeah, that's the right character, that's the right attitude of the dinosaur, but that part of it's not quite right. Those frames aren't right, you know. Normally, I do this either by making a trip to see him, or we'd send a videotape to him and he would call us back and it would take like 8 hours for him to get the tape and see it, something like that. But if we could do it interactively, using telephones, communications, or whatever we could use, that's something that I've been looking for, and we managed to find it and put it together for Jurassic.
Maybe one of the biggest advantages of the information superhighway is that it will make government more user-friendly to the people, giving citizens point-and-click access to volumes of government information and resource material, creating an electorate that is both knowledgeable and actively engaged in the electoral process, and providing a forum whereby people can talk to their local officials about proposals that directly affect them, and then be instantly polled on their opinions. As costs of doing business rise, both government and business are being challenged to do more with less, and the highway is proving to be a real money saver. Electronic applications such as video conferencing, distance learning, and telecommuting add up to huge savings in training, conferencing, and a host of other costs. For all the excitement about the information superhighway, it's important to remember that it is years away from being completed. But you can be sure of one thing: the highway is being built, and eventually everyone will have access to it. The highway is a great equalizer. It shows no bias toward people because of their differences. But ultimately, the information superhighway is merely a tool. Its potential will only be as good as its content and the creativity of the individuals using it. What they do with it is part of the great adventure.